Anyo SEO, hello from South Korea. Welcome back to the Spurs Chat Podcast, where I've got three very special guests to talk about today's game. Team K League 3, Tottenham Hotspur 6. We are back. We've got Richard Whitehead back with us. We've got Darren Altman back with us, and we've also got Ricky Norwood. Richard, welcome back to the channel. How are you?
It's always good after a great result. It's nice to see you nice and fresh anyway, and we don't want any background noise, please, from your residents. I think you need
We're
to,
live now, Rich. Come on.
Explain to everybody about who's actually with you.
Well, it's my good friend Jason, and he's kept me awake snoring for the last couple of nights. So hopefully he will stay awake, because it is 1 a.m. here in Seoul, in South Korea. We've just got back from the game, so it's been a good night. We've also got Darren Altman with us. Darren, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Before we start, what about a round of applause for our host? Hour and a half flight to Frankfurt, 11 hours to Seoul. I've been watching the videos. What dedication! What dedication!
It's been fantastic. It really has. But we'll talk about that. It's been an amazing trip. And to be honest, I don't think I want to come home. I'm enjoying life out in South Korea, so I might stay here.
It's a roommate. That's what it is.
I saw you in your temple. I saw you in your temples getting your chi on.
If only. We've also got Ricky Norwood back with us. Rick, how are you?
I am very well, my friend. Pre-season has been beautiful. It's been great to see the boys back in the shirt. And I've got to say, to reiterate what Darren just said just there about yourself, Chris, and about the channel and about the blog, you know what? You make me feel like a fan at home, like I'm with you, bro. And that's what's really special about the blogs that you're doing on pre-season in South Korea. It's how I found you in the first place. It's when you was doing the blogs about the stadium and when the stadium was being built. That's how I found the Chris Cowlin channel. So listen, again, big up to yourself, bro. Thank you for bringing myself and every other fan that watches your channel along for the ride. And if you haven't watched it yet, you're missing out. Go catch up right now.
Thank you, Rick. And let me just take this opportunity to thank everybody for all of your amazing support over the last couple of days. I've received so many messages about the content that I've been putting out, and half of it wasn't even planned. It was just off the cuff. So thank you so much for that. Rich, let's start with you. Team K League 3, Tottenham Hotspur 6. What did you make of today's game?
Like FIFA. It was literally like FIFA. It was great to see, obviously, the boys back on the pitch, like Rick said, refreshing. Just a different kind of atmosphere, I think, for fans as well. Just to kind of get in front of the TV on the old internet, watching the game. It was great to enjoy players on the ball, and I came away with optimism. And isn't Kane good at finishing? I was just like, my goodness,
He scored a free kick. How many times have we said, all four of us on this show, about who should be taking the free kicks? And when Son stepped over it as well, I thought, Son's going to have this. And then Harry Kane hit it and he scored.
Yeah, like optimism, like I said, optimism for next season. Come on, you Spurs.
Darren, how are you feeling about the result and the performance today?
It was great. Sat there at midday. It's like watching a World Cup game. They were all running around sweating, at night. It was like, wow. I thought, am I allowed to have a beer? What's the rules here? I'm not sure. It was great. I mean, it was great. I mean, your videos, your coverage, and also reading in the press, they have been working ridiculously hard. What was that stat? How they trained for 2 hours, and then they made them do 42 lengths of the pitch to the point where they were. You said like couldn't get up, like absolutely doubled over, and they were being told to get up and carry on and do more. I mean, I don't know. Is it a worry? Will they all be knackered? Because it seems to me like they haven't had much of a rest, especially like Kane and people like that. Will they be fresh as a daisy come August? I mean,
and that's proper training, mate. Normally footballers are pussies.
Yeah, I want to get him.
That's proper training. They need to get some stuff done. I tell you, Conte is a proper coach.
It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable today.
I said this the other night. I really do think that those players did not expect that training session, because it was in front of the fans. They had already trained in the morning. although there's an 8-hour difference here, they trained in the evening in front of fans. And my friend Jason said to me, how long will this training session last? I said, it's normally about an hour and a half max. It'll be, a really light training session. They do a little bit of jogging around, do a little bit of ball work, finish with a little game, and that'll be it. And then when they started running, I looked at him, he looked at me, and then, it was like 10 laps or 10 lengths. And then it went to about 20 lengths. And I'm thinking, wow. And then Heung-min Son dropped to the floor. And then the fitness coach said, what are you doing? Get up, go again. And it was like military training. It was like again. And personally, I love to watch that because, these players are being pushed to the limit and pushed extremely hard. And I really enjoyed watching that. But, a number of players fell out. And Davinson Sanchez, I must say, Pape Matar, Brian Hill, they were the 3 front runners. They were the fastest. Brian Hill was probably the best, in my opinion, because he just did not stop. He hit that line, turned and went again. And some of the players really struggled. And when I saw Heung-min Son and Harry Kane drop to the floor, that was a real eye-opener. But Antonio Conte, without doubt, I think he enjoyed that training session, and they planned that to happen. And for that to happen in front of the fans as well, I think that says a lot.
Yeah, that was definitely about emptying the tank. That was definitely about emptying the tank, and to show to the players that he is not messing around with his winter training, and it's about full commitment. If you don't buy in, you're shipped out, literally.
But you could see as well, when Richarlison was coming off the pitch, you could see in his face to think, wow, I've never had a training session like that.
Yeah, it's going to be a culture shock to a lot of them. But do you know what I think is really important about this? Yes, I think Conte's, kind of expressing his kind of leadership and what he wants from us. But what I think, because there's been a little bit of criticism. I've heard kind of Stevie Nicol, who's on ESPN, he's kind of criticised Conte, kind of being like, he's running them ragged. There's no need to do that. And concerns as well about fitness and if they're going to pull up with injuries and stuff like that. But you know what I thought of when I saw this? Firstly, I'm a fan of it. Yeah. It's a long season ahead. Not only do we have 4 competitions, but we've got World Cup to deal with as well, right? Yeah. So these players have to be prepared for the long term, and stamina has to be way up there. Do you know what I mean? For them to be able to go to the ends of the earth and recover quickly and go again. Do you know what I mean? So these things are really important. But what I think is the biggest thing about those 42 laps is what it does, a bit like you said, Chris, about the military, a bit like SAS on Channel 4.
Yeah.
And I would love to know what Rich thinks about this as an athlete as well. But what I think he's done there is he has stripped everybody to wood, right? And he's got everybody on the same level, regardless of your price tag, regardless of your status, regardless of your ego. That those 42 runs, that strips you down to the bone. And it means we're all on the same playing field. We're all on the same level, and we're all going for the right things. And what this is doing is it's breaking down preconceptions. It's breaking down the question of why. A lot of players in other teams, they might be doing those 42 laps going, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And Conte's like, forget the why and do what's being asked, which is a major lesson for everybody in that squad, especially with price tags and egos and status and stuff like that. So for him to strip everybody down to wood, get everybody on the same level, get everybody doing the same things and wringing their guts out, what it does, it prepares you as like the SAS or the military, it prepares you for war. It prepares you to go in as a team. He's turning them into Spartans to go out there and challenge on all fronts for a very long season. So I think it's like seriously important that he done that and he got everybody on the same level going, look, this is what we're about to do. We're going to go to war, and we're going to go to war on 4 fronts, and I need everybody on board. If you're not on board, cool. If you don't want to fight, cool. But everybody that does fight, you're in my plans. You're in the process. You're the one that's going to take us to the next level. And I think it's really important that he done that.
Rich, as Ricky said, really interested to get your view on the training session and being pushed that hard. As a professional athlete, as you are, have you ever been pushed by a trainer that hard and you've actually thought, this is too much?
Yeah, I've been sick on the track loads, yeah. It's not nice. But it's also understanding the why. So it's educating the athletes So taking the footballers out of, like Ricky said, it's not about kind of figures within the team, whether you're captain, whether you're an experienced player, whether you're a first team player, whether you're on the bench. It's about kind of everybody going to the line and giving everything and showing the manager what you've actually got, and then working to try and push that even further going on into the season. As a professional athlete, there's something about integrity of who you are and what you can actually give for the shirt. And that's what obviously Conte is looking for. He's looking for to right the wrongs of the last season, which were in some cases letting a lot of goals in towards those last 10 minutes. So like you say, stamina, resilience, determination, one team, all those kind of things, bringing them together, breaking the players and then building them up. And I think it's really important that it's not just about the first 2 or 3 that were obviously showing that kind of determination, that were the front runners, but it's also looking at the ones that are going to make that big kind of adjustment to the sessions and see how they push on as well. It's a great session. I sometimes think that footballers are very soft with those kind of sessions anyway, because you'd expect footballers to run, where some don't do a lot of running and can't actually run properly. But it was actually nice to see some technical work with the running as well within the Spurs session. So I did actually I did roll my eyes over that session and actually see that there was a lot of technical work going on, as well as obviously people spewing up at the end of the session.
It wasn't only that. In the training session, Antonio Conte, he just does not miss a trick. He is watching everything. He was in the centre of the pitch, telling every single player what he expects and what he wants them to do. And when he saw something that he didn't like, he stopped everything. You know, and this is in front. This is in front of the fans as well. Stopped everything. Matt Doherty, I noticed a couple of times, got a bit of a talking to. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg had a long talking to as well from Conte. I absolutely loved what I saw, because that's the first time, obviously, that I've seen Antonio Conte in a training session. Darren, we always joke and call him the conductor and the magician. You're even calling out magicians now on your radio show because of this.
Yes, yeah. It's amazing to see, isn't it? And yeah, I've got to agree with what the guys have said. The closest I've got to it, I did. Have you heard of Insanity, the DVD where it's a fitness thing? And I've never thrown up, but I've been close to a few times, and I've got to admit, after a month or 2 on that, you do actually feel like Superman. You know, when you're on the floor trying to do squats, and to the point where you're trying not to be sick. So I take your point. Hopefully come August, they will be supermen. And like you say, whether it's 90 minutes or 95 or 96, if we've got the stamina, Fergie time goals, who knows what the fine margins and the percentages can make next season. So completely agree. Yeah, like you say, absolutely loving it. Someone said on Twitter, I've forgotten who wrote it, if you could give a contract extension to any one of our players, who would it be? And my first thought was Conte. Just keep him for as long as possible. And very, very exciting. Very exciting. It bodes so well, doesn't it? It bodes so well. And it's good that you're there to give us a first-hand report, as far as, not reading reports in the papers, and you're there to give your honest appraisal of what you're seeing with your own eyes, which is great.
Well, as I said, it was nice to see the likes of Pape Matar and Davinson Sanchez and Brian Hill. If people were to guess who were the fittest and the fastest players, I don't think anyone would have come up with those 3 names. So interesting. But Ricky, let's come to you. Antonio Conte, after today's game, has said, I've seen good positive things. There is room for improvement. We have to try and work. Heung-min Son went on to say an amazing performance and amazing supporters. Would you describe today's game as amazing? Because of course we conceded 3 goals. Is it not really important about that? Is it all about fitness today?
Pre-season is all about fitness. The results don't matter. The result today is sweeter because we won and we got a couple of lovely goals in there. But what I read from what Conte said after the game, he just wanted the boys to go out there and enjoy it and to play with a bit of freedom. I think we saw that the fact that Conte stayed in his dugout and in his seat from the majority of the game. Do you know what I mean? He asked for no intensity, and especially after those 42 laps in that 2-hour training session. The one thing that I did see was a lot of them sweating real hard. Do you know what I mean? Like Sonny was on for 10 minutes, sweating. Richarlison at the end of the first half, he looked tired as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, so there's a couple of them that are feeling the effects of these brutal training sessions. So there's not much that we can ask of them apart from to go out there, enjoy it, and to get this fitness and get these patterns of play up and raise their level. But you saw how they responded, the boys responded to those 64,000 South Korean fans, do you know what I mean, that were there, full stadium, cheering them on. So you saw, I saw more effort from the boys, like more than they was asked to put in. There was a lot more effort. I always knew that Sonny, once Sonny came on, and I loved the way that he brought Sonny on, by the way. I love that everybody got changed at halftime, and then he gave Sonny a little kind of moment to get that ovation from the fans. But you see his pride, you see his dedication, you see so much is happening from this whole team. Even Harry, sharp as attack today. And you saw them kind of putting it in and trying to impress the boss. And even though they was told to play with freedom, they was still being intense and they were still being pushed. And I think the South Korean team, they went at it. They gave us a game. They wanted to show the world, whoever's watching, especially Tottenham fans, but that they are up to facing a Premier League side, you know? So I think it was a great game. I think it was an amazing game. It was good to see the young ones play and to get some minutes on the field. And it was just great to see the boys in the shirt and gearing up for this season. There's so many positives. I'm sure we'll jump into them. There's so many positives that came from today. Little niggles here and there. But as we say, it's pre-season. It's a friendly. Do you know what I mean? But the boys went out there, for everybody that was waiting to see them at home and everybody that was in that stadium, they went and put on a show. They went and gave some effort. You know, let's not even talk about Dyer and Dyer's goal. I know we're going to get there. But we saw some effort from every single one of those boys today, and that's all we can ask. You know what I mean? It's just exciting times.
It is indeed. Well, of course, Eric Dyer did score a screamer. Heung-min Son grabbed a brace. Harry Kane also scored a brace, and of course, it was an own goal. We started with the following team: Austin in goal, the back three of Romero, Dyer, and Sanchez. The wing backs Royale and Sessegnon. In midfield, Bentancur and Skip. The front three: Lucas Moura, Richarlison, and Brian Hill. Rich, are you any surprises there for you? I know Antonio Conte brought on 11 subs and he used 22 players today. But is that the team that you expected to line up against Team K?
Well, I think there was obviously going to give everybody a run anyway, and maybe in his mind he's starting to think about obviously maybe some partnerships there. So Bentancur and Skip in the centre of the park. How well did Skippy play today? Awesome. Great to see him back. Yeah, that was one of the things I was actually looking forward to when I saw the lineup, to be honest. Some time on the pitch after being out since January. So yeah, for me, it's all about giving people that confidence through the off season to back up the training. And I think Conte is going to start to kind of mould the team to something that we're used to towards the end of obviously the pre-season games. I think it'd be nice to see Richarlison getting one for the team at some point. I think it's always important in pre-season your attacking threat to get some confidence going into the season. But apart from that, yeah, some underlying things like Ricky was saying, like Sanchez needs to stay on his feet a little bit. But apart from that, I was actually really pleased with the lineup and actually how we played today.
Darren, let's come to you. I just wanted to ask you the question of what you thought of Team K League, because they had a 24-man squad consisting of 2 players from each of the 12 K League teams. I thought that they gave Tottenham a good game tonight. Yeah,
I mean, they were attacking. You know, there was no sitting back, which I suppose, you know, for a sort of friendly and exhibition match, that's what you want. You know, it was entertaining. You know, if they just sort of shut up shop or something like that, then you think, well, what's the bloody point? But I thought they were good, entertaining. I mean, they weren't, you know. What are you smiling at?
Oh. just happy, Darren. Just happy.
Yeah, I thought it were entertaining. You know, forward thinking. I mean, they didn't pose much of a threat, but yeah, they were all right. It was good. I was just more impressed with how we were playing. How right off the bat, you know, our will was to get forward, and whether that was because it was an exhibition match or because that was the actual tactics that Conte said, and this is something that we're going to take forward as we progress through our friendlies and into the season. I don't know, but I just liked our style of play. You know, we could have played it cagey, but everyone seemed to want to just get that ball forward. There were no Harry Winks in the team, which I really liked. Collective Harry Winks. I really liked Brian Hill. I'm excited. I'm glad that we've got him from Sevilla again, and I'm glad that he's in Conte's plans and he's given him a chance. I'm excited about him. Obviously, Skip getting back. I thought Sessegnon was all right going forward. He got caught out a couple of times. Is it me or is he bulked up again? Looks quite big, Sessegnon.
Yeah, he's been on a pre-season as well. So he is trying to bulk himself up and strengthen those muscles. I liked our mentality today, and if that is the modus operandi going forward, then that's great. You know, we're used to sort of sitting back and counter-attacking and all that, but you know, if we remember that we're Tottenham Hotspur, and especially with all these signings, and please God, touch wood, you know, if we get a couple more, there's no reason that we can't just come at teams from. That was the thing that frustrated me for a lot of the matches. That, you know, and I'm not talking about a gung-ho sort of carefree attitude where you just smack hoofballs forward and play, you know, attacking and getting caught out. But it was just this, too many times we sat back for 15, 20, 25 minutes. And I don't really want to see that for next season. If we can play with the attitude we played today, I think it's a really good, positive, forward-thinking mentality to take into next season.
The first chance that Spurs had was after 7 minutes. Lucas Moura's shot from range went wide. Ricky, what do you make of Lucas Moura's performance today? Because I tell you what, at the training session the other night, I would say he's probably the second most popular player amongst the South Korean fans, behind Heung-min Son.
Do you know what? I love Lucas, and I think what he done today, and again, it's pre-season, but what he done today was show us why he can be an important cog in this team. The fact that when we was a bit in trouble in the first 10 minutes, he would pick the ball up and just break lines. He would just run through the team, put them on the back foot, and then things started to open up. I love that, and especially during that first half, every time that we was in trouble, Lucas came deep to try and pick it up and to make something happen. And his mazy runs, his dribbles, his speed, his trickery, I think that can be an important cog. And what I really love about today is that Conte experimented a little bit with Lucas and put him at right wing back in the second half, which could be a really dangerous position for a player like Lucas. Do you know what I mean? And for us going forward, it could be a really dangerous position that could confuse a lot of opposition defenders. So I love Lucas to bits. He always gives everything. I think this season, I think he's really serious about putting in performances that are going to impress Conte, that are going to kind of contribute to wins and progression this year. And yeah, I was really pleased to see him out on that field and loving life as he normally does. Do you know, I'm just waiting for the little video where he's like, guys, and then I'll be happy. Then that'll be me.
Rich, let's come to you. After 10 minutes, Eric Dyer headed out shouting at the Spurs defence and showing real leadership qualities, in my opinion. And even in the training session again the other evening, he looked like one of the real leaders on the pitch. I was very impressed with Eric Dyer, you know, at the end of last season. Do you think he could make the England squad at the end of the year?
Yeah, for sure. You look at the other English centre-backs that are in the league, how many of those are in front of him? Not many, for sure. Not with the kind of qualities that Eric's clearly had in his locker. I think he was a little bit suppressed with his his versatility last season at the start of the year, and then all of a sudden Conte's brought it out of him that yes, he's going to play in that centre back position, not as a midfielder. Yes, on the ball, he can express himself. He can move forwards with that ball. He can spray obviously those diagonals. For me, I think he's somebody again that really needs a good kind of run in an England team to show his worth. The kind of Ledley King kind of scenario where when he gets in the team, you can actually really see his quality. Obviously, great strike today. I know Ricky wants to talk about that later. But just generally, the generally organisation, I think there's still some question marks around, obviously, our defence, but not with Eric and not with Romero. The wing-back positions are something that I think Conte really needs to get into his head. Is he gonna stick with Emerson Royale? What's Doherty's role going to be? But Eric Dyer's got a massive role in the team next year. Because Hugo can't do it all, obviously as the captain, and I think Eric's got a really loud voice. Even when you watch some of the videos, some of the Spurs videos, you can tell Eric's mannerisms are very team-wise. Apart from when he takes a piss out of Doherty for his goatee. But it's really, really refreshing to see.
Yeah. But I know it's only a friendly as well, Rich. But he did also name Eric Dyer as captain tonight.
Yeah, and that's important as well, isn't it? It's important that he takes that role forward into if Hugo's not going to play, then I think he's going to be the captain. I think he's a born leader. You can tell. If the going gets tough, he's going to be one of those that's going to stand up and be countered.
Darren, let's come to you. I want to talk about Antonio Conte again. I love talking about this guy. Now, in the 12th minute, the camera actually went on Antonio Conte, and the crowd went absolutely wild. They go wild for Heung-min Son, Lucas Moura, a couple of other players, but Antonio Conte, the South Korean fans absolutely adore and love Antonio Conte, and they cheered so much it made Antonio Conte look up as if to say, "What's happened? What have I missed?" And then he realised that the cheer was for him sat on the bench. It was incredible. It was an incredible moment. Did they actually show that on Spurs Play?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, I had a weird stream. It started off with a sort of CBS, like for about 15 minutes. Then it cut into the Spurs Play. So it was a bit bizarre for me. But yeah, they did do that. He was in the dugout and he looked up and he sort of gave everyone a wave. Yeah, I mean, great. I just you want him to stay. You want him to stay. And I think I'm getting a real vibe, and I should imagine that all Spurs fans are, that this is a real shit or bust for us. It's like you've said, the money's been there, 150 mil from ENIC. All the signings, early doors, which we're not used to seeing. We're used to seeing, Harry, with his arm out of his window at fucking 10:59.
Well, Darren, we've got 50 days left of the transfer window. 50.
So, but in answer to your question, yeah, I mean, why not? He is. He's our magician. I don't know if anyone's ever said this, Chris. He's our magician. He's our conductor, and we love him. And
look at all of our faces. We're all smiling, and this is down to Antonio Conte.
It really is, and also, I know we'll talk about the match, but while we're just sort of free flowing, the news a few days ago that we've signed a set piece specialist coach to do work on nothing other than free kicks, penalties and set pieces. I think that's brilliant, because that is an area where we've had the opportunity to score, not free goals, but an easy goal from a set piece, a free kick, and we just haven't had that. We've had no one in our locker. We've discussed it till the cows come home with you, Chris, and I just think that's a really clever, smart thing. And like you've said, loads of times on this channel, it's the attention to detail. It's the fine margins. Where are we lacking goals? Free kicks. What does he do? He gets us. There was some stat. This guy has got something like 1,500 variations of free kicks and set pieces. And you go, fuck me, really? We'll have some of that.
Well, we'll have one of each.
Yeah. It's great.
Of course, he's always improving things on the pitch and off the pitch. Ricky, let's come to you in the 14th minute. Great work from Richarlison. Took it past the goalkeeper, and then Emerson Royale, all he had to do was pass it in the net. How on earth did he miss?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I think half of him didn't expect it to drop to his feet. Oh man, what beautiful dinky feet from Richarlison to get into that position. Yeah. Now, again, this guy's come from Everton. He's been training with Benitez and Lampard, and who knows what level that training is, but it's nowhere near Conte level. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to take him a minute to get up to speed of what Conte wants, how he wants him to play. And also, like, there was a stat that I saw a little while ago about Richarlison about, like, I think it was his sprints. He's got like low numbers for sprints, but the one thing that Conte does, if he does nothing else, is gets those things up, as proved by last season, us being at the bottom of the running stats. And as soon as Conte turned up, we was at the top of the running stats. So for me, it's like Richarlison is a really exciting player. And I think Conte's got big plans for him, but it's going to take him a minute to kind of get into the Conte vibe and to not only get up to the fitness levels that Conte wants, but also get up to the kind of the way in which we want to play, the idea of the way we want to play, as Conte says many a time. But for Emerson Royale, man, I'm so kind of, I'm upset for him. I would have loved him to score that because it would have been great for him to give him a little push on. But, you know, like, it's just the beginning of pre-season. It's just the beginning. So give him a little time. Give him a little time. He might have been breathing out of his backside by the time he got there, Chris. And do you know what? Like, those 42 lengths the other day, that might have just caught up to him when he went for the shot and it slipped. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, so, don't give him an excuse, man.
Listen, I know. But also, you know what? On the back of what Darren was saying there about the new free kick coach that's coming in, it's just under 5,000 permutations, Darren, he's got, really? that he's got in his locker. And it's not just offensively. It's defensively, because how many times did we get done by a free kick or a set play or a corner or something like that? So it's offensively and defensively that we're going to work on that small detail, which is a massive signing. I think it could give us 10 goals by himself, and he could prevent 10 goals by himself. So, you know, going forward, there is loads and loads and loads of positives. We're going all out this year. We are going all out this year.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. I just saw a funny thing in the comments. Someone said Ricky didn't get the memo and he's out in Hong Kong.
Well, someone said, is he in North Korea rather than South Korea? Ricky, by the way, we're very close now to 75,000. I think your video is coming.
Yeah, when it hits 75, let me know. All right, up until that, and it's got to get 75 before the season starts. All right, and then the story's coming.
We do need to get to 75,000 as soon as possible. So if you don't subscribe to this channel as yet, please do hit that subscribe button, and hopefully Ricky can record it tonight. Now, Rich, let's come to you. Let's talk a little bit about Richarlison, because I thought it was a great move from him, going past the goalkeeper, setting up Emerson Royale. Of course, he missed. But Antonio Conte, after the game, said, I'm impressed with his attitude, will and desire. He showed great spirit, a good performance. Antonio Conte is clearly happy with Richarlison. Good signing for you?
Yeah, I think obviously Conte's working mentally with Richarlison by saying that as well. In the past, you look at his mentality at Everton. He's like drifted in, drifted out of games or not. Maybe not had the best of game because mentally things have got on top of him. So I think Conte's working on that side, like Ricky was saying, around kind of really working on his stamina, kind of getting those runs up, giving him the confidence that he can kind of last at the pace that Conte wants. I think he did look a little bit rusty on his first touch, but he held the ball up well. When the ball was going long to him, he was very strong on the ball, and there was a couple of decisions that didn't go his way that in the Premier League definitely would. And we will win lots of free kicks with Richarlison in the game. And then obviously, like you say, the free kick specialist and the work that he does with the players that we've got will be key. Richarlison, I think he's going to be a great signing. Conte's obviously seen something in Richarlison that has kind of pushed Levy. £60 million for a player like him. I think he's a great signing for Spurs and something that we need, especially with 5 substitutes as well next year. I think he's maybe going to be one that either comes on from the bench or is a starter that we obviously try and kind of utilise that resource.
Also, you know what, with Richarlison, sorry, Chris, with Richarlison, what is really, I think, is a really important thing for him to see today was when Harry and Sonny came on and the goals that they scored and the way that they scored them and the way that they played. He's going to look at that, and regardless of ego or price tag or anything like that, he's going to look and go, wow, I've got levels. I've got levels to reach if I want to be in this team, which I think is only exciting for us. And that 60 million, I'll tight a minute with the 60 million. We're going to get 20 back for Delhi, at some point, shape or form, or we're going to knock it off the Richarlison money, So that takes it down to 40. And what really impresses me about Tottenham and paying that 60 million, is it overpriced? Yeah, probably. But Richarlison is the man that Conte wanted, and he's got plans and a vision for Richarlison. So instead of bulking at that 60 million price, which Tottenham may have done in the past, and we might have gone for a cheaper alternative, they've gone, you know what, fine. You know what, cool. Conte wants him. Here's the 60. Let's have Richarlison. And I love that. I love that. Many a time, year after year after year, how many times have we missed out on a player because of 5 million? Or because of 2 million, or because of 10 million. And this year they've gone, you know what? He wants him. All right, fine. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. So I think that, yes, it's expensive and it sounds like a lot of money. But you know what? They've worked out in a way in which, firstly, it's going to be staggered payments, but we're going to get money back as well. And they've backed the manager, which every single fan has asked for Levy and the ball to do for a long ass time. So it's a statement of intent for me.
Yeah, for sure.
You sound excited, Rick.
I'm super excited, bro.
Darren, let's come to you. What did you make of the fullbacks today? Because, of course, we know in Antonio Conte's system, particularly, after last season, the fullbacks are very, very important to him. What do you think of the likes of Sessegnon and Emerson today? Are you seeing improvements?
Sessegnon, yes. I mean, listen, it's the first. I can't start tearing the arse out of them, when we played one pre-season. But I mean, Emerson Royal, you want everyone to do. Anyone in a Spurs shirt, you sort of, you can't wish them ill because they play for Spurs. So you want players to do well and play for us and represent our team. But at the moment, I'm still as far as Emerson Royal, the jury's out very much. I mean, you and I went to Chelsea on a cold February night or whatever that was to see the first game in the Rumbelows Cup or whatever it was. And he was right there, down in front of us. And, he got his arse handed to him there. And I want him to improve. I'm not sure how much he's improved. Sessegnon, yes, I think he's young, he's got a lot to learn. I don't know. I think
it's just some of the behaviours, isn't it, Darren? It's just some of the behaviours that continually come into his game, and I think that's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't know what he's got to do to stop sort of getting found out. He's got to be stronger. He's got to go into challenges. He's got to go past players, and you need that in a fullback. You can't have someone losing the ball and not being able to cross and get it forward. So for me, as far as Royal, the jury's out, I'm afraid. Hopefully, I'll be proved wrong, and who knows what may happen. Maybe he'll have a second resurgence or something. You don't know. The jury's out with him, I'm afraid. Sessegnon, promising. Ricky heading outside. Oh, there you go. I've got to be honest. I was a fan of Reguilón. I was a fan of Reguilón. I had nothing against him. I thought he was a great player, and to not be included is a little bit of a mystery to me. I thought. Well,
let's talk about that, Darren, because of course 4 players: Harry Winks, Sergio Reguilón, Lo Celso, and Ndombele. Were you surprised by that decision from Conte? Because I was actually quite pleased that Antonio Conte has made that statement. And when I went to that training session the other day, I thought perhaps there is a real reason why they didn't go. Perhaps that those players have been training at Hotspur way that week leading up to the South Korea tour, and some of them can't do the running. Ndombele, for instance, I could not imagine Ndombele doing that running like that squad did the other night.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like you were saying, it's a question of maybe, I don't know whether it's application or attitude, and we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. But from what I've seen of Reguilón, he's great. He's got a bit of do I say yes, I think I do. I'll trot it out now. He's got a bit of shithousery about him, which I like. He's not afraid to get stuck in. He's he's good at getting forward and beating men. His crossing's okay. I thought he was a player with promise, to be honest, and to be sort of cast aside is a bit of a mystery. I don't know what Rich and Ricky think, but I mean, for me, that's the mystery for me. What do you guys think about him?
Yeah, better option than Sessa, really. I think I've always been. I think Reguilón, obviously, maybe there's some history there about that he actually wants to move on, maybe, and attitude's not really there. I think when we're looking to obviously sign Eriksen, Conte didn't really see the commitment from him, and maybe he looks at the other players and goes, actually, how committed are you to the cause? How committed are you to the shirt? And because you're not fully committed, let's move you on. I think Reguilón for me was the best option in that position. Like speed with obviously purpose. He still needed to have a little bit of work on that kind of finishing. He had a couple of opportunities last season that he just didn't connect with and didn't score. But I think his crossing was far better than Sessegnon's, to be honest.
Well, we haven't seen Perisic yet, have we? He's only Saturday.
World class.
We haven't, but you know what? With Cess, I think that he was just too easy to read, and I think he's been a bit easy to read because he plays within himself, and maybe that's a psychological thing about his hamstrings or like him pulling something. I'm not sure, but today I felt that Royal, and not that he done tremendous and he knocked us all out of the park, but again, it's the first game of pre-season, but he was more solid for me than Cess was. It's tough because the wing backs are the most important position now in our squad. We haven't seen Perisic, yes, and also Perisic has come in as a bit of a mentor as well. So he's going to help take Cess, forward, hopefully. But the right side for me is a bit of a problem that we have to sort out. If we do bring in Spence finally after all this crazy time. We had to have a saga. It is Tottenham, so even though we did get 5 signings in, we needed one saga. So Spence is the saga. But even if he comes in, he needed, for me, he needed to be one of the first ones in because he's going to benefit the most from a long Conte pre-season. He's got a massive step up to the Premier League. He's got much more responsibility because there's Champions League games as well. It's a new system. It's a new manager. There's new requirements. There's new fitness requirements. There's a ton of things that a young one like Spence coming into the side has got to do, right? So the thing is with the right side, why I'm bringing this up is because none of us Tottenham fans are fully convinced with Doherty or fully convinced with Emerson. I don't want to call Doherty out every time, but he had 2 years of doing absolutely nothing. And he played at left wing back or left back as well and was terrifying, diabolically horrific. I don't know what other terrible words I can come out with, but he was terrible. Doherty. But
the thing is,
it's the same on the other side. It's the same on the other side with Emerson Royal. The other side of the Tottenham fan base do not trust Emerson Royal. So we really need to work out what's happening on that right wing back side. Sorry, Chris, go for it.
No, the thing I was going to say is even if we sign Jet Spence, who I'm a big fan of, I think he's a great player, but he is inexperienced. He hasn't played in the Premier League before. He hasn't played in the Champions League before. So out of those 3 fullbacks, if we had Jed Spence, Matt Doherty and Emerson Royal, who do you feel more comfortable with?
Lucas Moura.
There you go.
No, I don't know. The thing is that you're absolutely right, okay? And this is what I'm saying, is that Spence is an unknown quantity in the Premier League and in the Champions League, and playing for Tottenham with a Tottenham cockerel on his chest. We don't know what we're going to get from him. So I don't know whether if after pre-season, Conte is unconvinced with Royale or Doherty being the number one at right wing back, I have no doubt that they will go back into the market and get another player in there to kind of go alongside with Spence, and then we get rid of two and we bring two in. Maybe that's the solution. But I trust Conte, I trust Paratici, I trust the plan, I trust the direction, and I trust that they will get it right in the end.
Yeah, personally, for me, I'm not worried about a thing to do with the transfer window, because if Antonio Conte sees a weak area, I think he will go out in the market and get it. And as I said earlier, 50 days left of the market, which is a great position to be in, because he can go through pre-season, go through his 4 games. I know in an ideal world, he would have, he would liked him on the plane for this tour, but 50 days left, he can improve in other areas. Rich, let's come to you. In the 21st minute, Davinson Sanchez forced a good save from the goalkeeper. A couple of minutes later, Emerson Royale cross, Sessegnon missed. Ricky, I'll come back to you. You can talk about the goal as well. But what a goal in the 30th minute from Eric Dyer. You would expect this from a striker. That was an unbelievable goal.
He had a bit of time on the ball as well, didn't he? He had a bit of time. Yeah. And I think I've seen a couple of videos from the crowd, and they're going, shoot, yes. So it's great to actually see the crowd actually getting really into the game as well. And I think Eric's always had that though, hasn't he? He's always had that in his locker. And I think when you talk to the rest of the boys, he's always had that kind of the strength to be able to do that. But again, confidence. You're thinking about his confidence knocked for the last couple of seasons. Then to get the captaincy, then to score as a captain
on his weaker foot.
Yeah. You going to come in, Darren?
No, on his weaker foot. I said.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, this is it. It's the magician again. He's working everyone on both feet now.
Yeah.
But you know what's great about Dyer is that, yes, he's had these criticisms over the years, right? But the first thing that he done when he came in as a youngster is I saw an interview of his that, the Spursy tag was going around left, right, and centre, and there was all these articles coming out and reports coming out how Spurs have got a soft underbelly, and he came out like with fierce intention to be like, I don't like that, and we're going to change that real quick. And I was like, oh, there is a bit of a leader in there. And for all of these knockbacks, in midfield and in centre back, his mentality has shone through. And I think this is the thing that has attracted him to every single manager that has come to Tottenham, is that his mentality to push through and to work on his game. The fact that he has played in midfield and is now playing centre of a back three means that he's almost like a double player right now. He can almost, play centre back, and he's used to that now, and he's getting the things that he has to do at centre back right. But now he can push forward and he doesn't feel lost or scared because he's played in midfield, and he can dribble and he can shoot and he can score a free kick. Do you know what I mean? That all is in him. But you're absolutely right, Chris, when you say that the magician has given him the confidence to put all of these elements of him, all of the good, great elements of him as a player together and mold this new Eric Dyer that we're seeing with the captain's armband on, with the big chest, with him leading. Like you said, he's been leading in pre-season and in training, and he's even cracking jokes on the plane, and I just love to see it right now. It's a totally different Eric Dyer than we've ever seen, and I think that all the problems before, and maybe this is a metaphor for life. Do you know what I mean? There is no struggle, there is no progress without struggle, and he's had a lot of struggle. Do you know what I mean? And right now he's using it instead of being weighed down by it. He's using all of that struggle and everything that he's learned and all the mistakes from the past to make him a real great, good, fantastic player for Tottenham, which is, again, super exciting and is down to the conductor.
I think he also looks like a different animal as a person as well. And I'm not sure if he's like purposely distanced himself from that relationship that he had before with like Delhi, which was more like playful, which is more kind of, let's have a laugh and like nothing really matters. Where now it's more kind of, when he's talking, it's the intent. I think it's very much we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to do it. And so you can tell that even though he might still have a laugh with some of his fellow players, but there's always that seriousness to him to say, look, we are in this as a team. We're actually progressing. You can see that from what he's saying, and he really means what he says. Where before it's more like jokey kind of, laddie kind of, and there was no real intent there.
But you can see as well on the Amazon documentary, do you remember when Dyer and Dele had it out of each other in the dressing room? And I think you could see that he got kind of annoyed with that type of attitude and with that type of reaction. And he didn't stop himself from confronting Dele because they were mates. He's like, because we're mates, but right now we're talking about business. We can talk about PlayStation in a minute, but right now we're talking about business. So Dele, say what you got to say, or call people out who you've got to call out. But the whole kind of attitude and the woe is me and it ain't me, it's all yous lot type of attitude, he did not respond to and he did not respect at all. But he challenged it, and that is coming through as well, Rich. Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Rich, let's come back to you. Just before half time, Team K League equalised. Cross from the left, great header in past Austin. Were you concerned about the way that we conceded that goal?
I said obviously switched off right at the end of the half. I think obviously the ball was in between two centre backs. It's a great finish, obviously. Not concerned really. I think it's obviously that's going to be something that Conte he'd be showing that back to the team and say, look, you switch off. This is what's going to happen. You give the person on the ball far too much room. Great crossing. The attacker was in between the two centre backs. Free header really. He's going to score. A good striker would score that opportunity. He's literally put on a plate for him. Just had to direct that on target and he scored. For me, it was just one of those situations where they were dying to get into the changing rooms, switched off, and that's what can happen. I think the important thing with friendlies is learning when you're actually on task, and they'll definitely do from that. They'll do repetition about that as well. And I'm sure instead of 42 laps, it probably 52 laps or something next time. So I'm sure Conte will drill that out of the players.
You wouldn't have a problem doing 42 laps, would you, Rich?
No, I wouldn't. No, I don't know. Now, with all these Coronas I've been drinking, probably would now.
It seemed that Dyer stopped running to me. I don't know whether he just thought that it was too long a ball and he couldn't get to it. But for a split second, it seemed like he just sort of stopped and checked. It was weird.
It was in between Sanchez and Dyer, wasn't it? Yeah. He just kind of came in and he was like, I just want to go in for my oranges and just have a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Darren, let's come to you. So the half-time score was 1-1. Then Conte made a number of subs. Hugo Lloris, Matt Doherty, Harry Kane, Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Tanganga and Sarr came on. Austin, Sessegnon, Brian Hill, Bentancur, Romero and Skip all went off. 2 minutes later, Harry Kane's cross went in. Defender put it in his own net. Harry Kane is just always involved in the goals so quickly. And it was a great performance from him tonight, wasn't it? Really good.
And it's like the season was just continuing. His relationship with Son was just there. It's unbelievable that it just doesn't go away. It's telepathic, and I love the sort of. There was one cross that Harry put in, and I don't think that Son got to it, but it was the sort of look round and the cheeky sort of. Oh yeah, it was all of that. It's the little cheeky looks, we know. It's great, and it really bodes well as long as that carries on going. And and as far as Harry, dropping back deeper, that absolute screamer that he scored, and I think that bodes well for Richarlison, who can now move forward and be a target man. That proper number 9. And Harry, before it was, Harry would come deep, and it's like, well, who's at the front now with Richarlison? Not only have you got Son, you've got Harry deep. You've got Lucas, you've got Brian Hill, but you've got that forward, that target man now that we haven't had before, and it's great with plugging gaps as well. So Harry can play as free as he wants now. But yeah, he was great. He was absolutely fantastic. It's like never been away. Play more golf in America, Harry. Pull your boots, mate.
I think crossing as well. It's like that cross for me was like. The wing backs need to look at how early he took. Just put that into an area.
Exactly.
That's the important thing. the wing backs need to look at that and go, that's what I need to do every time.
Yeah.
That thing.
Yeah. Completely agree. Darren, let's stay with you. In the 52nd minute, Team K League equalised 2-2. Cross from the right, low shot, went into the bottom corner. Were you a little bit disappointed that Hugo didn't save that?
It was the pullback, wasn't it? And he was unmarked. That I make, you know, I'm like, I always make notes if I'm coming on it. It was the pullback, and the thing that worried me was the guy that was the South African player with the blonde hair. The thing that concerned me was that the fact that he was just unmarked in the centre of the penalty area. I wasn't too sure why that was. Why wasn't he picked up? I mean, if you're on your own in a penalty area and you're going to shoot.
Rick, this is never leaving you, Ricky. Never.
I'm not coming on no more. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We need a book.
Sorry, Darren.
Where's Ricky?
No, it's funny because Ricky was nearly on Last Word from Spurs until he got.
Oh, come on!
Logged into the wrong link.
He rang up Ricky Sachs at 5 to 5 and said, "Where are you? I'm here waiting for you." Sorry, love you like a brother. I don't blame Hugo Lloris because if you're unmarked right on the centre spot, then of course chances are you're going to score. But my concern was, why was he unmarked? I don't know why there was no one picking him up, to be honest, for that goal.
Well, just a minute later, in the 53rd minute, Harry Kane puts Spurs 3-2 up. Kane from outside the box hit the bottom corner, finished with his left foot. An unbelievable finish, Rick, wasn't it?
Mate. Do you know what? Harry Kane wants his golden boots back. Let me tell you, he is on a mission. Soon as he came on, totally changed the game. Everything from passing to movement to the raise of everybody else that was on the field. That was like, Harry's on the field. Let's go. Everything about Harry right now is on the next level. And guys, every single Tottenham fan out there, how nice is it that we're seeing this type of Harry Kane in pre-season this year compared to last year, boys? Compared to last year, where there was the speculation and his head was down, and even when he started playing games under Nuno, like there were shots that were just flying off his boot. There was shots that we would put our whole houses on him scoring, and he was missing, and you could see he was out of sorts. And as soon as Antonio Conte came in, just a totally different player. And, I feel that he feels that he probably wasted a little bit of time last year, but he knows that this year the mission is on. And I think he cannot wait to get out there and start banging goals left, right, and centre. There's always that thing about him not scoring in August. I guarantee you he's scoring in August. I guarantee you he's probably going to score against Southampton and then Chelsea, let me tell you, because he is on it like a bee in a bonnet. He was super sharp. He wanted to turn up for the South Korean fans as well. They've seen how much appreciation that's been given to Sonny as well as Kane, and he was out there to put on the show, and it was great to see his head up, his chest up, and those shots were just clinical, absolutely clinical. Grass cutters as well. That one from outside the box. Oh my gosh. He knew exactly where the ball would bounce, and he knew that the keeper wasn't going to get it. And it's really exciting to see him at this stage after 3 days of training at where he's at right now. Season, like you said, Chris, 50 days away season. This is just the beginning. Bloody hell, Harry Kane, one of our own. It's good that you're back in town, my friend. It's good that you're back in town.
I'll tell you, Rick, I can listen to you all day with your excitement. I absolutely love it. Rich, let's come to you. In the 68th minute, handball from Team K League. The penalty was given. My best moment of the evening.
Oh, yeah.
Harry Kane throwing the ball to Heung-min Son for him to take it. Do you think that will happen in a Premier League game?
No chance. No chance. It might go to Harry and say, "Oh, obviously you threw the ball to me then." They'd be like, "No, I'm taking this. No, this is me. This is my reign here. You had your little moment. I gave you that. Now it's me." But and again, it shows the importance of obviously that game in South Korea to the team, to Sonny, and how much of respect obviously Harry's got for Sonny. I read something that Harry was saying he spends more time with Sonny than he does his missus.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. I'm sure his missus has got something to say about that. But it just also shows that he's got the respect from Sonny, and I think Richarlison has got something to aim for, and then for him then to continue to hold Sonny and Harry to account for their places as well. So to continually push each other. I think before we've had like Harry up there, Sonny kind of is he going to take the same role? But now there's three of them that are really going to push those levels, because we talk about levels. If we're going to go fourth, third, second, and then challenge, we need to push the levels. And not only technically we need to improve, but also the team ethic. And I think for him to do that today, it shows that he's really bought into the team for next season. And I think we're going to see a different kind of ruthless Spurs, but also togetherness, more together. So one or two players aren't going to say we win and lose as a team. I think we're all going to be kind of really that ruthless streak. We're going to win together, and we're going to kind of blood, sweat and tears on the pitch. You can see that. It's a different mentality for sure.
Yeah.
Rich, what did you make of Team K League's third goal? Lloris seemed to be caught out again.
I think what it was, so this is my analysis. It gave Sonny the penalty and goal, and Lloris was like, there you go, you can have one back. I don't know what it was. I'm like, there's no way he's scoring from here. No way. And yes, he did put it right in the left-hand corner. But it was literally like, Hugo was like, there you go. We're going to win by 3 anyway. So just there you go, have one back. Because it's the same player. It's literally the same player. And he caught the ball. He didn't handball it. He caught it. 2 minutes later, he scores. Wait a minute. Come on. Do you know what I mean? Even the foul for that free kick, I was going, something going on here. And it probably didn't happen like that. But in my head, I was like going, that's like, yeah, you can have one back.
It was certainly an entertaining game. Darren, is this true? You can do an incredible Martin Tyler impersonation?
Never done Martin Tyler in my life. I mean, I can shout Aguero! No.
Okay.
It might be a request, Dal. It might be a request for Martin Tyler now that Boris has been sacked and you've got.
Yeah, that's it. He's a bit redundant.
I mean?
He's redundant in that area now.
What Boris said about the situation, Darren?
Oh, it's a pain in my wallet. That's going to be
All their bookings have been cancelled.
I felt
Don't worry, Darren. You turn up at the right places.
Going onto the streets of London with a big wooden sign saying, ex Boris Johnson impression, please give generously, No, I don't know where he's got that from. Good free kick though, wasn't it? It's a good hit, considering he gave away that ridiculous. What was all that about? I've never seen a penalty like that in my life. Good hit though.
Well, let's talk about Harry Kane's free kick, because Harry Kane originally put the ball down, and I thought, okay, he's going to take it. Heung-min Son then came back. He was over it. Who do you think was going to take that down? Do you think it was going to be Son or Kane? And who do you think will take these types of free kicks next season? Because we have said, all 4 of us on this channel multiple times, saying how many free kicks has Harry Kane scored. Do you think that he will still be the free kick taker in the Premier League next year?
Well, the thing is, I don't know about you, but I thought that judging by all the stuff that Spurs are putting out on the channels, I thought Son was like, all they do is seem to glorify Son in training. And so when the ball went down and Son was giving it the old, I thought, oh, here we go, Son's going to have a pop. And the next thing you know, Harry Kane hits it. Not only does he hit it, he just blasts it straight through the wall. Like it was a broken fence. It wasn't like a sort of cute round or a little bend into the top corner. It just went straight through the wall. So obviously we'll take all goals, but I thought that was going to be a Son. I thought we was going to see some magic from Sonny there, to be honest.
I think there's a reason for that as well. Obviously, you don't want to be kind of showing all your cards in pre-season. I think Sonny will have, especially from that range. Obviously, we've seen from his obviously international duty that from that range is deadly left or right corners. And then also Harry's going to obviously hit them across the floor. So there's obviously those 2 options there. But I think a little bit further back, that's where we've got kind of that opportunity for maybe a new player or another existing player within the team.
So, I mean, obviously, I'm not familiar with the Korean national team, but does Sonny take free kicks then for them?
He scored 2, yeah.
So why doesn't he? Why didn't he do it last season for us then? There's no logic in that, is there?
You must watch them, Darren. In South Korea's most recent games, he scored 2 absolute crackers. So have a look at those.
And he did score for us last season from taking a free kick. I won't say what game it was against, but
that was Watford at home. That was at home. So if you know that he scored at Watford at home at the start of the season, why did you go to White Hart Lane on the 1st of January? That's what I want to know.
Listen, I went. It's all going to come in the story, all right? It'll be in the video. Get 75.
It'll be in the book. It'll be in the book.
I'll explain it all. But everybody knows the home of football is White Hart Lane. Do you know what I mean? And if you don't know that, then you don't know. I mean, what can I say? The home of football is White Hart Lane, Champagne Lane. So I had to go down to Champagne Lane, innit? Do you know what I mean? That was just my instinct, you know?
We want that party bus going down the high road in May. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Rick, let's stay with you. In the 76th minute, Conte made 4 subs. Dyer went off, Sanchez, Lucas and Richarlison, and then came on the youngsters, Sayers, Fagan Walcott, White and Parrott. I'll tell you what, if you were a youngster, playing under Antonio Conte now, the experience that you are going to get, on a tour like this, is going to be incredible, isn't it?
Absolutely. Exactly what I was saying about Richarlison, seeing Sonny and Kane and what levels they're at and what levels he has to reach. It's the same as all of those young ones. They've seen what Conte wants and the level that he requires during pre-season and in a game. For them to get some minutes is fantastic. If we think about, or if we talk about Troy Parrott right now, I read an article on football.london just before we came on. And basically the plan is for him to kind of, go through pre-season, impress Conte, go out on loan, and then come back next year and really fight for his place. And I think that's why today was important, and pre-season is important for him, because what he's doing is letting Conte know that he's ready for the fight, that he can step up. Oh, I've seen the levels that you need, and I can reach that. And I know what I've got to do at whatever loan club I'm going to next year. I know what I've got to do to impress and to step up those levels so that when I can come back, I can be counted on. And I think that's the same for all of the young ones. I thought Harvey White, did he play at left wing back today? I think he came on at left wing back. I thought he was tidy. I thought he had like calmness and assurity on the ball. I thought he found his teammates well. He didn't look out of sorts. I thought Papa Mata Sarr, I thought he was another tidy one as well in the centre there. Can't really. I didn't see too much of Sayers, and then it was the defender as well, wasn't it? It was Walcott.
Malachi Fagan Walcott.
Yeah. So I mean, again, fantastic for all of those boys to not only be on this tour, to see what level is required from Conte, and to see where they've got to go to improve and to step up to the first team. So I think it was invaluable for them, and I think that's why Conte's brought them along as well. I think it gave encouragement to Hill as well. Like Darren was saying earlier, I was really impressed with Hill. I love the fact that he was at the top of the running charts as well, Chris, when you were talking about the 42 laps and stuff like that. That shows me mentality. That shows me that he, even though he had a bit of a disappointment last year, he's come in, he's found it really difficult to play his game in the Premiership. Then a new manager's come in and he said, you're a bit weak. And it's a different style of playing in the Premier League. It's a whole different world. So they sent him back to Spain. For him to come back from Spain and to have the mentality to go, all right, Conte, I'm going to show you that I can be relied upon, that I've got quality, that I can be in your team. Maybe not this year, but to show you again that I'm about it. It was great for Brian Hill. And it was great that he was I think he was playing number 10 in the first half. Was that right, Chris? Was it like a 3-5-2 today?
Yeah, and I've got to say, actually, Rick, the other night, although I thought that Brian Hill was fantastic, his running ability and his speed, I think that he needs to work a lot with the ball, because his finishing in training was pretty poor. He missed a number of one-on-one opportunities. He missed, a couple of absolute sitters, put him over the bar. So it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best finishing. I would expect a number of these young players. Antonio Conte will certainly assess them during this pre-season, on tours like this. And I would expect a number of them to go out on loan next year. It'd be an interesting one, though, with Brian Hill. I'm not really sure how or where he fits in this Spurs 11 or this Spurs squad. So under Nuno Espirito Santo, yes. But under Antonio Conte, I just think it's just everything is completely changed.
And is he good enough?
Well, look, I think there's a dynamite player in there, but obviously he's slight, he's small and he's slight. Do you know what I mean? And playing in the Premiership is a whole different scenario. We all know he needs to put on the pounds. We all know that the strength and the bulking up needs to happen, but he's still a young man. He needs to go out on loan. If we're thinking about him as a player for Tottenham Hotspur, he needs to go out on a loan to the Championship, to a tough league. Do you know what I mean? Maybe Germany, where he can really kind of toughen up, ride those challenges that come his way. Do you know what I mean? Not be pushed off the ball so easily, and to find he's a scoring touch as well within these pressurized games. So I think the loan that comes for him, if he's going to go out on loan, is really important. And it's the same importance with Tanganga as well. Coming off a knee injury, straight back into an Antonio Conte pre-season, he needs a loan. And I think he's another one of our own that there's so much potential in there. Left centre-back, right centre-back, centre-back. We haven't seen nowhere near his ceiling yet. So a good loan for Tanganga is really important next year as well.
Well, Tottenham got this.
So I was going to say about Brian Hill, I do like his vision. There was a couple of sort of look up and ping, a couple that he did today. I thought that was great, just like the ability to sort of have the awareness of the pitch and just pop some balls right to left. I thought that was wonderful to see.
But of course, we all know as well that Antonio Conte will get the best out of players. So this is why I'm so excited about pre-season, because securing that fourth spot for Champions League football for next season with that squad that we had, only 2 signings in the January transfer window. I think it's incredible. Rich, let's come to you. 86th minute, Spurs got our final goal, 6-3. Heung-min Son, mistake by the defender, rounded the goalkeeper and tapped in. Even in stoppage time, Heung-min Son had a couple of opportunities to get the hat-trick, but it was a great night for him, especially in front of his home fans.
For sure, and it's obviously really important that we've got that connection with the players, with their nationality, spread the Spurs word far and wide. Like you've alluded to before, seeing so many sunny shirts in the crowd, really important. I think it's great that a player that's had such a great season for us, and to go back home, kind of spread the word, and then gain that kind of those messages and that support, and then bring it back and then continue. Sonny just gets better every year, doesn't he? He's kind of his finishing's world class. He is a world class player. I don't care what anybody else says. He is a world class player for sure. Left foot, right foot, so quick, so direct, and he's built in that kind of endurance within his play now, where a couple of seasons ago, like him and Hugo had a little bit of a kind of altercation about not tracking back. Now, you saw him even today, came on, was tracking back, putting in the work, putting in the miles for the team. I think for Sonny, going back home, showing that performance, not quite scoring the hat-trick, but getting a penalty, getting that tap in, and it's really important, and it shows how much the team does care for its players as well.
Oh, he has got incredible support here. It's unbelievable. Now, in today's game, there were 4 unused subs, Keeley, Davis, Perisic and Kulusevski. Of course, on Saturday, we've got our second game in South Korea against Sevilla. And then the week later, we've got Rangers away. And then the week later, we then have Roma. Of course, Jose Mourinho's Roma. We will be playing that game in Israel. And then the following week, we will be playing our first game in the Premier League against Southampton. Now, the last question for you guys. Darren, let's start with you. As I've mentioned a couple of times on the stream, 50 days left of the transfer window. What do you think Antonio Conte needs? Because he's come out and said in the last couple of days, if we can do something, then we will. We'll sign more players. What do you expect from now until 50 days? And what would you like Antonio Conte to bring in?
I'd like to see a backup striker for Kane because we just can't have him be run rugged. I know we've got Richarlison now, but I just think another one would be great. And I think we still need that right back the right back situation addressing. We've got Perisic, we've got Kulusevski, we've got wonderful midfielders, but that is the area for me. Tanganga and Royal both fit in that position, and I just don't think. I think if there's when you're playing teams and they look at our starting 11, whatever that may be that he's going to settle on, I think that if you're a manager, that is an area that you target and you say, right, they've either got Royal at right back, so everything goes down that side, and I just think we need to sort of nullify these weaknesses now. I think we've got an incredible midfield. Our front players are unbelievable, but that side, I don't know. It always makes me nervous, that side, and I think that needs strength. Whether Jed Spence is gonna do the business, I don't know whether he's too young, whether he comes in and just slots into that position and solves the problem, I don't know. But I think that is an area for me that needs sorting out.
Darren, if Spurs sign another few players from now until the end of the window, do you think that we could challenge for the Premier League?
Oh my God Almighty! I think a trophy is without question in our capability. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not a trophy, the Premier League.
Premier League. Oh. I mean, come on.
Because the reason I ask, Ricky and I are getting very excited, and we think with another few additions we could challenge for the Premier League. Are we getting carried away?
I mean, Liverpool have sold Mane. Who's the new guy that they've got in? By all accounts,
Nunes. Yeah, he's not a great finisher, is he?
Yeah. So, I mean, Liverpool's going to be right up there. Obviously, City, I mean, could we win the league? I don't know. We could top four. I mean, is I won't say a shoo-in, but we've got every chance of getting at least top four next season. That's all I'll say.
Well, is Antonio Conte as good as Harry Potter? That's the question.
The puppet master. I don't know. I mean, you've got two incredible teams there. Could we finish above Chelsea and Arsenal? Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, if it all clicks into place, we'll be up. We'll be there or thereabouts. It's so easy to get carried away, though, isn't it? It's so easy to get carried away.
Darren, let's just get your opinion on the question here from Stefan. Would you say that Harry Kane is the best striker that Spurs have ever had?
Well, he breaks all the records, and the answer is yes, of course. Unbelievable. Son's got to be up there now. With what we see he can do without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, I know the numbers aren't there, but in technical ability, my God, unbelievable. So, yeah. Yeah.
And there's a new song. There's a new song here for you, Darren. Stand up if you can't find Watford.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? My earphones are going in and out. I can't hear a thing right now. You froze and everything. I don't know what happened. Ricky,
what do we need? What more do we need in Antonio Conte? What does he need in order for Tottenham to really push Manchester City and Liverpool?
I think this right wing back situation is a really important. But like I said, both wing backs are super important. Now, however we feel about Sessegnon growing into this team, we've got Perisic there, right? We've got Perisic there who we know can do the job that Conte wants him to do. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen it in a Spurs shirt, but we trust in what Conte and Perisic have done, and they trust the player to be able to do the job. So fantastic. This right side is the biggest problem right now for us, I think. I think if you sell Emerson, then you have to sell Doherty. I think you have to, because I just don't feel 100% confident. For instance, Jed Spence and Doherty being the two that are the rotation on that right side. So if you sell, and this is because I know we haven't seen the best Emerson Royale, but I do think that there is a higher ceiling in him. And of course, I could be wrong. But a higher ceiling in him than what we could get from Doherty. But we've got to see that. We've got to trust in what they're doing. But that right side, that right wing back side right now is the biggest problem area. I think today when we saw Sanchez on the left, however good he did and whatever challenges he put in and sliding challenges and stuff like that and a potential penalty as well. When I saw that replay, I was like, it looks like a penalty to me. But he just can't get his feet sorted on the left side. It's like swapping your hands to eat. Do you know what I mean? Like when you swap your knife and fork to eat, it's a bit. I don't know. You can't figure it out. There's a different timing on the tackles when he's on the left side of a back three. So I think that left centre back to back up Davies, or we haven't seen what Longlay's got for us yet. But yeah, definitely that the right wing back situation right now is the biggest thing for me. If we can get any more, that's the cherry on the cake. If we can get a attacking midfielder or a potential additional striker, these are all cherries on the cake right now because we know how lethal we are up front. But right now, there's going to be so many assists and goals coming from both wing backs that is the biggest area that we need to put the majority of our money in right now. If we can't get Bastoni, for instance, right now that's where we need to put our money, and that's where we need to improve to go and challenge the likes of the Man Cities and Liverpools out there. But I have no doubt, like I said earlier, I have no doubt. I trust Conte. I trust Paratici. I trust they will get what they need to go and challenge this year. And I'm saying second minimum. We're going to disrupt the league again. It's all about belief. I haven't felt this belief since Poch was there. And Poch showed us what type of side we could be. Do you know what I mean? And these players are going to be all on point. They're going to be on mission. They're going to be on trend. They're going to be ready to go through brick walls and fight tooth and nail to go and get the 3 points in a league game or to win a cup game, bro. So I'm super excited about what's to come. I trust that it will happen. But, like every Spurs fan, we all want it to happen today. Do you know what I mean?
See, Darren, it's not only me that says super excited. Ricky is super excited.
I know. I love it. I'm harder than Chinese arithmetic.
Rich, how are you feeling about it? And what else do we need to really challenge Liverpool Man City?
Yeah, I think yeah. Ricky's just spat his lemonade everywhere. Just glad he's not in the toilet anyway. I think you've got to look at. I agree everything that Ricky was saying. I think if you're going to challenge, you've got to look at all your positions. And when Man City were kind of really getting their kind of structure in place, they went out and bought those players and spent 50 million on a wing back and a left and right back, Walker in and etc. etc. They got those players. That's what we need to do. Are we saying that we're going to challenge with Emerson Royale in the team? I'm saying not. I'm saying nowhere near. I think you look at the business that Chelsea is starting to do. I think Liverpool are going to be strong. Man City are going to be strong. I'm really optimistic with the players we've got. We need that left centre back for sure, and we also need that right wing back. And I think we just go all in for those two positions. And I think with obviously what Harry's doing with dropping in, I think that negates maybe that kind of attacking midfielder that we all kind of want, that kind of Eriksen kind of player. Because I don't think Conte's going to go back into for a player like that and invest in a kind of 50, 60, 70 million. I don't think we've got plenty of midfield kind of options there anyway. And I think Harry will drop in. Yes, I definitely agree. Left centre back, right wing back. And I think we go kind of really big. Whatever's the best option, we go for it, and we just kind of go all in for those positions. And then we've got a proper team that can challenge for the title. I've always been really optimistic with Conte's teams. I think he kind of knows what he wants, and he's looking for kind of those positions. I think from today, he would definitely see weaknesses down those kind of wings. And obviously, when Harry came on the pitch and he was starting to connect the kind of midfield to attack, in the first half, we didn't have that because we were so solely reliant with our left and right wing backs, which were quite ineffective, to be honest.
Well, there's 50 days to sort it out and make those decisions. A couple of people have given me some questions. Would I go back on the cable car? Absolutely not. And what time is it out in South Korea at the moment? It's actually nearly 2:30 a.m. So I will be getting to bed in a minute. So, Rich, thanks so much.
I can hear Jace now. I can hear him. I can hear Jace.
He's snoring. He's snoring in the background.
Poor old Jason's to my left, and I don't know whether you've noticed that I kept looking over, and he's sort of going like this.
He's not sleeping commando, is he?
Sorry?
He's not sleeping commando, is he?
I'd have a different face then, I'll tell you. Rich, thanks so much for coming back, and so nice to see you again. And tell everyone where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, Marathon Champ. Yeah, on Instagram, just hook me up. It's great to kind of continue to share those messages and share that love. But obviously, continue to subscribe, like. Obviously, Chris is doing such a great job. Obviously, spreading the love for us. So let's obviously spread the love back.
Thank you, Rich. Lovely to have you back. And Darren, what other impressions are you doing apart from Boris Johnson at the moment?
Oh God!
Is this Laurel or Hardy up in here? You know what I mean? With that
Why are you? Yeah, exactly. What other impressions? Oh God! Don't start me. Right. So I'm at Darren Altman on Twitter. At Darren Altman. I should have done what Ricky and Richard, but you know. Yes, and that's it. So I'm doing my voiceovers and my impressions and all my bits and pieces. And I'll tell you, I was working with a mate of yours, Ricky. I was working with Adam Woodyard a few weeks ago.
Oh, fantastic! Love Adam to bits.
Lovely.
Love him to bits.
All he wanted to do, I was teaching him impressions for something. I could tell you what that is, maybe off air. I was coaching him to do impressions. All he wanted to do was talk about football. He's a mad Liverpool player. And I was going, but we got to work. And all he wanted to do was talk about football and Liverpool and Spurs. He's great.
Yeah, he used to bring some of the players down to set. He's a massive Liverpool head.
Yeah,
massive. And as soon as Trent started to break through the team, because he was a bit unsure with Trent, I remember one day, and I was like, listen, he's going to be the heir to Carl Walker. I can see it happening, and look where Trent is now. But yeah, lovely guy. Played Ian Bill on EastEnders, for those that don't know Adam Woodyard, or his real name. But lovely guy, loves football inside out. I used to have many a conversation with him. Really good guy.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me off air. Yeah, you have to tell me what impressions he was doing off air. Yeah, you know where you can find me, at Ricky J Norwood on Twitter and on Instagram. It's official Ricky Norwood. But nah, Chris, I've really missed chatting about Tottenham and chatting about a game and being on. It's been loads of fun. Yeah, super excited for this season to come up. And again, listen, thank you to all the South Korean fans, those that are watching right now, those that were in the stadium tonight, those that support Tottenham left, right and centre. We're sending you plenty of love, okay? And long may it continue.
As I said, Rick, the people in South Korea are so lovely. They're so friendly. I absolutely love this place. So you might not see me in England again. I may stay here. So you never know. No, I'm sure I'll be back for the opening day of the season against Southampton. But no, it's been a fantastic trip. I've still got a few days to go. Of course, the game on Saturday against Sevilla. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's been a great trip so far. So thanks so much to everybody's support. Richard, Darren, Ricky, can't thank you enough for coming on. And as you said, Rick, it's so nice to talk about a game again, because of course that was our first pre-season. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you don't subscribe to the channel as yet, please do hit that subscribe button so Ricky can do this video and I can post it on the channel, and he doesn't have to talk about Watford away anymore. I'm sure he'll be happy about that as well. But thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Until then, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.